everybody, it's basic gray t-shirt day. It's laundry day. How's everyone doing in the chat? What should we do to start? I was going to do a little 320, but I see two 201 students here. So W on the points right there. Andrew knows. Show up early, get those points. We even do it for office hours. If I don't give you points at the start, tell me. Be like, hey, Brian. Where's the points? Where are the points at? Can you possibly go over the assignment for tomorrow? Which one, Savannah? Which assignment? Let me know which assignment. Which one, which assignment, which questions. Feel free to let me know which one, and we'll do that. If I can get my phone to charge, that'd be a good thing. Really? Really? Not doing it? Which assignment should we do for tomorrow? There we go. Phone's charging. I don't know. I've only been charging an iPhone for 15 years, and I don't know how to do it. I'm having trouble with data analytics. Let's see here. Which part are you having trouble with? Let me know. Let's find out which part people are having trouble with. I'm gonna pull up. Is that the one, Savannah? Let me know which part you're wondering about, and let's talk about it. Let's see, which thing are people wondering about? The one due tomorrow. So the data analytics univariate? Yeah, let's go talk about it. Okay, so data analytics univariate. All right, let's go talk. The write-ups about the first two graphics. Yeah, so let's talk about the write-ups. Okay, data analytics write-ups. Okay, let's go talk about data analytics write-ups. So stat 201 data analytics write-ups, or data analytics 2 write-ups. Okay, let's go check it out. Okay, so whenever you're doing a data analytics assignment, make sure to follow the rubric. So that is the number one key right here, is follow the rubric. So we're going to go to data analytics 2 right here. And I want to point something out. So if you're in my class, I put the video where I go over each one of the data analytics step by step. This is going to be more of an overview right here, but we can spend some time. Ask questions if you got it in the chat. You're here in the chat. You get to ask the questions. So this right here is the full walkthrough. I use different variables. Might be a different variable, different data sets, different things, but the concepts are still the same as we work through it right here. So it's still the same concepts. I talk about what kind of graphics we're doing, and you can see the timestamps down here. So if you're not in my section, video link is right here. So there's video link. I think I did it right. Video link. I thought I hit one extra button. Here is the video link right here. It's double posted now. But that video link will send you to this video right here where I go step by step by step. And you can see right here, we go over the random sample you'll need to take. We go over the bar chart. We go over the pie chart, and you can hover over these. So if you're here now for the first time, all office hours are marked with what we do, as long as I remember to mark them. I do it while we're talking. And then you can see what I'm doing in the video and just go here and be like, oh, he's making the histogram and talking about the histogram. We're talking about bin widths right there. So you're welcome, Savannah. So, and ask questions while you got them right here, but this video has each thing, but we're going to talk about questions like Jamarcus wants to know about the write-ups specifically for the first two graphics. So the first two graphics are a bar and a pie, but number one, when you're doing your write-ups, read the rubric. Now, the rubric is going to be exactly how the graders grade you, as in the graders are literally going to click these buttons. There are buttons for graders when they're grading you. I wish I could show you grading one, but I can't, because the graders are literally going to click these buttons, and look what it says for the bar chart. So that's the screenshot. Make sure you just take it of the screenshot. Bar chart was created with all the requirement for labels of the instructor, of everything we asked for. Now, I do want to point this out. Some people have had issues. There is a thing with dark mode. So maybe you're here now because you're having an issue with dark mode. And this happens for some Macs. So let's put this label in the video right here. Let's label this. If the numbers aren't showing up. So let's label this right here, and we'll just play Brian's video on it because I can't do a Mac right now. So data analytics 2, numbers not showing up. So this is an issue people have had. I'm going to play this video real quick. So I'm going to disappear and play you the video that shows how to fix the problem. If you're having an issue with the numbers appearing above your bars, there's a way to fix this. Let's go ahead and make a graphic here with a bar chart and add in the counts and put the labels on. Now these labels will appear, but let's see what the problem is. We're going to go here to the Apple and go to System Preferences. Now we're going to go to the upper left button and click. If you didn't catch it, that was Apple System Preferences. Go to the Apple System Preferences. The System Preferences. Now we're going to go to the upper left button and click on General. So we're clicking on General right there. Under General, we can change from light to dark mode, and you'll notice when we go to dark mode, the numbers disappear. So going back to light mode will make the numbers appear, and then you can click done and take your screenshot. Make sure to click done. I should have clicked done because a lot of people don't click done on graphics like this where we need the numbers over the bars. So I think it's a lot of times with dark mode, it's on Macs, it does that. If you have a different issue on a PC, let us know. I've encountered a lot of different issues, but this is a very common issue right here. So let's talk about the write-ups right here. Rubric advice. And Jamarcus wants to know about the write-ups. So the write-ups. Okay. Data analytics 2 write-ups. Okay. So with the write-ups, you want to look exactly what we're asking you for in the rubrics. You want to say, what are they asking us for? We've got a bar chart right here, and the write-up says, for the write-up, it says, write-up is accurate and written in complete sentences in paragraph format. So you don't want to use bullet points. You want to be complete sentences when you're talking about bar chart write-up is accurate, and let's look at what they want in the bar chart write-up. Okay. In a bar chart, the bar chart must be in horizontal layout. That's more formatting. Display options and show either the counts or the percents above the bars. Take a screenshot and insert it into your Word document. Include a short write-up of the different levels of the variable in ascending order. Be sure to include the corresponding values for each category you write up. So I'm going to integrate a little bit of 320 right here. Well, no, let me do it in Jump because someone's probably watching this and be like, no, I need to see how to do it in Jump. To make a bar chart inside of Jump right here, we're going to go to Analyze. We're going to go to Distribution. Analyze Distribution. It's one way to do it right here. Once we go to Analyze Distribution, we can select a variable like gender right here and then put it into the Y columns. You can also double click it. Notice that it's red, meaning it's categorical, specifically categorical nominal. The green one is ordinal, so you can actually differentiate between them in Jump. Let's go ahead and click OK right here. You notice we have male, female. We're going to click the top red arrow, and then we're going to click Stack. Top red arrow and click Stack. This is a bar chart. It will call it histogram. That's one of the things that bugs me about Jump, but it's a bar chart because it's categorical data. Once again, bar charts and pie charts are used for categorical data. I guess maybe you might don't call a bar chart a histogram because usually people think of histograms as quantitative data. Histograms are over there on the quantitative side for one variable. There's no other variable. That's one quantitative Y. Bar charts and pie charts, make a pie chart your favorite bar chart your favorite pies. That's what we got going on right there. So now that we have this displayed, you can actually see the counts and the percents right there, but you want to add them in on the graphic. To add them in on the graphic, we need to go right here. And remember, I am using different variables, and I'm not using a random sample. So if you're following along, you need to use your variable and your random sample. This is just kind of talking through what your graphic should look like and also kind of how to explain what's in a bar chart. So we're going to go here to histogram options, even though it says histogram options, and we're going to add in, I like the count axis. That's not required. Is it? I'd add in a count axis. And then I would go to the histogram options and show counts. And that's how many people are in each group. Like we talked to 806 people, and it says ascending order. So ascending order means like you would ascend a ladder, and then you'd have to descend it. So if you do descending order, that's from the highest to the lowest. If you do ascending order, that's from the lowest to the highest. So you ascend up a ladder, you descend down a ladder, like descend, so go down. So if we're doing ascending order, what would be our first sentence here? So Jamarcus, or I'll wait a moment, but this is going to be our screenshot, our nice and pretty screenshot right here. What do I got in my, I got that. So we're going to screenshot right here. And you can, if you want, you could be here, gender of students, and you could actually remove this. These are not required. Also, while we think up the sentences right here, I'm just making it look all pretty. You don't have to make it look super pretty, but we got to make it look nice. Where did my change the color? Histogram color right here. Go for a little, that's close. That's close right there. Said show counts or percent. So either which one, we got that right there. We're showing the counts percentage. We should be able to get UT orange. I'm actually going to get UT orange while people do this real quick. I want UT orange. Like that's close. Let me go get the color code. That's the, is that okay? This is okay right now here. I'm going to go get UT orange while we do this. So branding Haslam color codes. Here we go, marketing branding. I need the color codes. What? Did they remove the color codes? Why would they do that? Oh my gosh. Where did they put the color? Oh, colors on branding. Here we go. All right, here we go. Here it is. Here's the RGB. 255. Yeah, I should have guessed that. 255 130. There it is. That is UT Orange. That is official UT Orange. There we go. That is the official UT Orange. So what would we write about this now? We have official UT Orange. Wonder if. I'm gonna try something. I've never done this. Official UT Smoky Gray. This is going too much. No, come on. Maybe it's because I did this. Well, darn. Okay, well, I can't. I thought I could make it so that those rows would be a specific color, but it's not doing it. Okay, so what are we going to write, Jamarcus? What are we going to write about this? We need to write about it in ascending order. We need to write about these bars in ascending order. What would be a sentence we would write? What would be our first sentence about this? We got our nice graphic. We got our nice screenshot. So what would be our first sentence about this when we talk about it in ascending order? What will be our first sentence in ascending order? So we could say we talked to 806, and good answers from Marcus right there. We could say we talked to 806 students. Of the 806 students, 355 reported that they were male, which is 44.04% of the data, or 44.05% of our sample. Does that make sense? I talked to 806 students. Of the 806 students, 355 reported being male. That is 44.05% of them. Does that make sense? So thinking about how we would then talk about the next one, we're just going through and talking through in ascending order, being like, okay, this is the amount we spoke to, this is the amount in the group, and this is the percent relative to it. And does that make more sense, Jamarcus, right there? So you want to make sure you kind of talk someone through and go through the categories in ascending order, which is lowest to highest. So this graphic right here looks good. We can put it in a report. Notice how it doesn't have extra parts of the screen. You want your graphics to look nice and neat right here. So it's kind of neat. You can also, if you want to go the extra mile, put a little like that one right there. Be careful. Some of them put too big of a border. That works. Yeah, you can do something like that. Maybe people don't like that in reports. It all depends. It works in a PowerPoint pretty well. Gives a little depth to it. I like that one a lot. I use that a lot. You can like go crazy. You can put a blackboard around it. That looks pretty good. There you go. Kind of makes the graphic pop out. Smallest to largest. Smallest to largest. So ascending order is going to, let's double check. Smallest to largest. So it says ascending order. Ascending order right there. So smallest to largest. So you ascend a ladder, which means go from low to high, and then you descend, go from high to low. But you're not going to do the descending order, which would be highest to lowest. Ascending order means start at the lowest and go to the highest. Basically, imagine this is the best way to do it. Would you know the information in the graphic if you couldn't see it? So the best way to know if you've interpreted it properly is that you could read the report and then you would know all the information in the graphic without seeing the graphic. So if you would know everything, once again, if you know everything in the graphic without seeing it, you've properly interpreted the graphic. If I'd be like, well, what was this group? And you'd be like, oh, we didn't include that. You're like, oh, well, then we didn't do a full write-up. The pie chart right here. Pie chart's going to look kind of similar, and it says make sure to include the labels, the label of values. Click down on your screenshot, take screenshot. The best you believe is the best format. So you can. It's going to be very similar. This is it's the same variable, so I wouldn't just copy paste your write up. It's never good. This is just practice right here. So if we go to the graph builder, we can take our variable and put it inside of here. We're just dragging and dropping. You got the options up here on how to make your graphic look, so you can click between them. A lot of them are going to kind of not turn out so well. Like I have no idea what that should be. It looks like a Heat map, it is a heat map. Yep. Contour, it's contour plot. But it's not what we want. So be careful, you can get weird looking stuff, but we want to go to the pie chart. So the pie chart is what we want for categorical data right here. Once again, pie charts are used for categorical data, bars and pies. You can make a pie chart for bars, bar chart for pies. Keep saying that because it's a good way to memorize it. Like, what's your favorite pie? Let's make a pie chart from it. What's your favorite bar? Let's make a bar chart from it. And the question, what's your favorite pie, leads to answers like Oreo pie. What's your favorite bar? Leads to answers like barcade, which are categorical responses. And people get a little bit confused sometimes because when we report this data, we can throw a label on here, and the label shows the counts of observations. Notice here that these are numeric values, but they don't represent that people reported 355. There were 355 people who reported that they were male out of our total sample of 806. There were 451 people who reported being female out of our total sample of 806. So we've got everything right there. I think what labels auto. Yeah, that's what I want. And then let's click done. Make sure to click done, and then make it look all pretty right here. And then we're going to go here. I'm going to call this gender of students. I'm going to go here to this. I don't want the graph builder thing on the screen. Delete that. Ooh, it took away my options. But it looks super pretty now. And then I'm going to go here, fill color. Let's go female. Let's go a nice blue. And then male. Let's go a nice green. Sure. Very pleasing on the eyes. I can't take that color much longer. Here we go. A nice purple. There we go. Awesome. Looks like Spider-Man supervillain colors from what is that new movie? There we go. Like it. So there we go. Looks like Scorpion or something. And so we now go back here. We take our screenshot, and we make sure we get a good screenshot. Make sure to not get extra parts of the screen. You don't want even this stuff up here. That's not going to look good in a report. You want it to look like you're about to present this in a PowerPoint to someone. That way you know. But if you do, let's say you did get that extra part. Let's say you've already finished your assignment and you took these extra parts of the screen, and that's not, you're going to get some points off for your screenshots. Hey, what's up, Sloan? Just about by. This is my class starts family. Would you say 1-2 sentence? Yeah, pretty good. Just make sure it doesn't hurt to throw a little bit more. Just, it doesn't have to, we're just looking for you to explain and talk through. Mine would be very short right here. I'm going to crop this screenshot, pretending someone made some errors right here. We click the picture. If you click the picture, you can click picture format, and then you can go right here. And actually, if you take a little extra, you can get a good, really exact screenshot on this by being like, okay, where exactly do I want these? Now, one thing I think a lot of people know, but it's important to say, is whenever you resize images, you always want to grab on the edge of it. If you grab like right here, you'll distort the aspect ratio of the image, and you'll get some sort of weird kind of text that has been smooshed. But if we go here, it maintains the aspect ratio and everything stays about the same. Someone's like, whoa, didn't know that. And I'm going to make everything centered. I wouldn't center my text. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger now. And then I'm going to throw on the picture, I'm going to throw a little border on it right there. Ooh, that's a big border. We don't want that. Oh, that's a crazy border. There we go. There we go. Nice and looks the same. So we're making some really nice images right here. And this is what we try to teach. That's what we want you to know. Is how to make good, like Sloan and Jamarcus. Do you think those are pretty good looking images you could put in a report to somebody and like they would understand what's going on? Like someone who doesn't understand data analytics could maybe look at this, and the picture is also basically communicating it. I could have changed the gender right there. You know what? We're going the extra mile. Exactly, Jamarcus. That's our goal. And Jamarcus, good job following along right here. The interpretation of this is going to be very similar. Doesn't hurt to throw on an extra sentence. I just want to show that you can edit this by just double clicking it. We're going to go here and just say gender. And I just want my graphics to be as nice as possible. You are not required to make your graphics this in-depth as I'm doing. Once again, I took too big of a screenshot to show this process again. We're just going to go here to crop. And under the crop, we're going to crop right there. And just a little bit of time here. Just make it look nice. It's one of those things that I like making things look exactly the way I want them to. So now we've cropped it, click outside of it. We throw a border on here, that little nice black border, and we're good. So if you look, we now have a really nice looking screenshot that communicates everything we want. And then probably someone in our group or instructors can be like, hey, what'd you make that in? How'd you do that? Oh, it says Q1 gender down there. Oh my gosh. Okay. We'll talk about the histogram here next, but gotta gender. There we go. Okay. Don't Q1 gender. Re-screenshot. Okay, there we go. Got the screenshot of the screenshot. And last but not least, third time, remembering how to crop images. Go right here. You can actually grab the black border if you want there and just go, but then you got to look at two at the same time. And there we go, right there. Good to go. Click outside, click here, click black border, resize a little bit, and we're good to go. There we go. Exactly. Once again, this is not required, but it does make it look really nice. And so all that good stuff got very good information. If you're wondering what this means, there's no missing data. There were 2 levels to the question. Levels are the answers to categorical questions, like what was your gender? We had it reported here with 2 levels. Could report it in many ways, but this is the way the data was collected for this survey. And the gender right there also being reported as a pie chart. Bars and pies can display the same type of data. So this is the same data being displayed graphically differently. Now we get to the histogram right here, and the histogram is kind of the more in-depth one. For the histogram, we're going to go to Analyze Distribution. Under Analyze Distribution, we're going to go to something that is quantitative, like number of pets. So if you notice here, you see a little blue icon, and the blue means quantitative. What does visualization tool, you believe is that? I think you're asking about when it says best format. Mean for pie chart? Is it this right here? Oh, include a short write-up of the visualization tool you believe is the best format. Like, this is just saying when you interpret the pie chart, you are not required to do it in ascending order. You are going to give the information to the reader in the way you think. So include a short write-up of this graphic that you believe is going to inform the reader the best. So include a write-up that you think best informs the reader. So a little more open-ended here. This one requires you to do ascending order, and this one is you. So don't just copy-paste your write-up because it is the same variable. This one is requiring you to kind of be like, how would I best report this? What is most important to me? So it's your choice. You know, you'll just be interpreting the same sort of numeric information, but do it in the way you feel is best. And I would not be short with my words here. I wouldn't use too little words. I think that's important right there. You know, don't be too verbose, but, you know, write a few sentences on it. So that's what I usually say. If someone says, have I written enough? I say, might write a little bit more. Also, when do data analytics projects get graded? They have 1 week. And they have 1 week to grade it. Sloan, good question right there. I've emailed the graders. About half are graded for each class, or 2/3 of one class, 1/3 of another class. So I told the graders, remember, you have 1 week to do grading. So they have until tomorrow night. And I think hopefully everything gets done because it's the first one, and it's very important that they get it done on time. That's big for me. And then for the exam later this month, will we see any? You could see, yep. You would have to know how to read the graphics like you're seeing right here. So knowing how to read and interpret data is why we do the data analytics assignments. So you could see information like this. The first test doesn't have nearly as much. The third test has way more. Like on the third test, you would generally see something like this right here, and you'd have to know how to interpret a t-test, which the difference between male and female GPAs was negative 0.15, which because it's negative, females had higher GPAs. The standard error of the difference is the uncertainty in the differences. Confidence interval says that we believe that the difference in the GPAs with 95% confidence is somewhere between about 0.10 to 0.20. I'm rounding. With females having about that much higher GPAs, 0 is not contained in the interval, so we think there's evidence of a difference. T-ratio is the standardized difference, which is a very large standardized difference because something outside of 2 or 3 for z-scores, i.e. t-scores also is very large, and the probability right here is the probability of what we saw by our results are more extreme, happening by random chance, given that the null is true. The null is that difference is 0, and we landed very far away. We reject the null that there is no difference. We have evidence there is a difference. Okay, you're not meant to be there yet, and I will never talk through things that fast later. And the degrees of freedom tell us which T we're using right there. And these are other alternative hypotheses. And also, if you hover over something and jump, it does give you an explanation. You have to hover and pause, and it'll do it sometimes. Sorry, jump, come on, do it. If we do the question mark. You can go right here. It's going to tell you all about that jump output if you use the question mark. But it usually takes a little bit more of an understanding to know, like, shows the standard error of the difference. Well, what is the standard error of the difference? It's the uncertainty in the estimate of the difference. It's a measure of uncertainty like standard deviations are. But once again, we will go through this more slowly and talk through this output and talk through the notation. This is actually chapter 17. So there's a whole, this one output is a whole chapter. Does that make sense, Sloan? Like this one output is a whole chapter. So if you understood everything I said right there, which I doubt anyone did, you would literally understand a whole chapter. You would understand the difference between two means. And this is a whole day's lecture right here talking over the difference between two means. Yeah, so if you see right here, here's the jump output we just saw, talking about the data with two groups, and we're comparing differences. And so it's just to look at two means and compare their differences. And there's the same output I just read through, where we're comparing Facebook friends. Since the difference is positive, we're doing junior minus freshman. Juniors had on average in our sample 150 more friends than freshmen. This is the uncertainty. The T ratio is actually the dividing of these two numbers. T ratio is 1.3, so we land right there. 1.3 standard error is above 0. Since the p-value is pretty high, we do not reject the null, and we do not have evidence of a difference. Yeah, okay. I love doing, this is the kind of data I love, because this is the real essence of statistics, the more complicated stuff. But here's what I would tell somebody, like if I had to write how many sentences, the first one should be like 3. The last one could be like 4 or 5. 3, 3, 5 maybe. I wouldn't go too little on the write-ups. Just, just talk through it and throw a little extra sense on there if you want. If you feel the grader's not fair, let me know. If I were to talk to somebody about this and explain this output to them, I'd be like, we did research on if freshmen or juniors have the same amount of Facebook friends. And although there was a difference in our sample, it looks like there really isn't a difference. Like all the differences look to be by random chance. That's actually what the p-value shows you. So does that make sense? I really don't think there's a difference between on average, like the average freshman versus the average junior and their Facebook friends. Looks like the differences are probably just in our sample. There were some differences, but overall in the population, there's probably not much of a difference. Like if any, it's probably close to 0. But that is how I would talk to somebody if I was trying to explain it. And they might be like, what do you mean? You found a difference. I'd be like, well, but the difference was small. Like what if your friend runs a mile 2 seconds faster than you? Do you think your friend's really that much faster than you? If your friend runs a mile 2 seconds, like you're running a race with your friend and it's a mile and they're 2 seconds faster than you, do you think they're faster than you? If your friend's gloating and be like, haha, I'm so much faster than you, what would you say to them? You'd be like, you beat me by 2 seconds. And 2 seconds is a difference that would be likely by random chance. Now, they might be faster. They were faster than you when you looked at that sample, that one race. But maybe, you might beat them in other races. You might run the mile again tomorrow and beat them. So we want to know if the differences we see are real between the means or if they're likely by random chance. And this difference was one of those kind of 2-second differences. I know it's not 2 seconds over there, the difference. But the difference was small and likely by random chance. So, yeah. What is small? Small is relative to what we're talking about and the variation within it. Because maybe if your friend is running like a 6-minute mile, then a 7-minute, then a 5:30, and then an 8, they have a lot of variation in their mile times. So are they really a better mile runner than you? Well, depends on your mile time and your variation in your mile time. And that's the standard error and the difference, which estimates the uncertainty and kind of the differences between the two of you. So there's a lot to talk about there, lots of concepts. Each one of these things is its own individual concept. And this is a whole day's lecture. This is an hour and 15 minutes of talking about what does this all mean and what do these equations mean and what does this notation mean. So it's a harder chapter, but once again, we go slower at the end. Okay, so when you're doing the histogram, let me mark the video right here because someone's like, what? I just scared someone. Histogram write-up. Date analytics to histogram write-up. The histogram write-up, the very first thing we ever always talk about when talking about a histogram is what? The very first thing we talk about when talking about a histogram is what? You have to talk about this when talking about a histogram. The very first thing when talking about histograms is what? Go there to stack. Go here to count axis. The very first thing when talking about histograms is to talk about what? The what. We have to be very clear on the what. Be very, very clear on the what. Mubot, do you know the answer? Have to be very, very clear on the what. What do we have to be very clear on? Have to be very, very clear on the shape. Now, there's really two routes to go. When we talk about shape, we can basically be talking about symmetry, or like symmetry and normal, or we can say it has outliers and skew. And the more we talk about outliers and skew, the more we go towards median and IQR. And I think I still have those notes up. I got all the notes up. That'd be chapter 2 notes. No. Wait, here's chapter 2. Here we go. So when it looks more normal, we're going towards mean and standard deviation. These are the appropriate measures. When it's more skewed, we're going towards median and IQR. So you have to pick one of these. Do not use both of these. Do not talk about, oh, the mean standard deviation of this and the median IQR of this. Don't say the median IQR of this, the mean standard deviation of this. It very clearly says in the assignment, let's go look at the rubric again. Remember, the rubric's going to be your best friend right here. So when you see it right here, include a write-up, describe the variable to the reader. So you got to describe the variable. Talk about what variable you're talking about. So I am talking about right here. I'm talking about the number of pets people own, which was an analysis of asked to students of how many pets do you own. Identify the shape. So when we identify the shape right here, I would definitely say that this is very right skew with extreme values on the high side. So it is very, very right skew, extreme, and we can get the skewness metric if we want right here by going to, I click the red arrow to get the customized summary statistics. And a right skew is positive skew because it goes towards the high side. So if I click the skewness, we will see a positive number for skewness. You don't have to know that. But right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the monster man's tail goes. And that's a good way to memorize it right there. So it's very, very right skew with extreme outliers. So now we are definitely talking about median and IQR. It falls into that very neatly. But once again, I told my graders, and you can always kind of debate things because the graders are always going with their best knowledge. And this one's a pretty obvious one. Maybe yours isn't so obvious. But the way you describe the shape is going to determine the route you go. So talk about the shape and make it very clear that you're saying it has this or this, and you think it's this. So your determination of the shape determines the center and the spread. Shape is what determines center and spread. So make sure to be very clear on the shape and then determine your center and spread you'll use and only talk about one of them. Be sure to include the corresponding values of center and spread. Do you think the maximum value might be considered an unusually high value in this data set? Why or why not? So my maximum value is someone who owns 33 pets. Definitely owning 33 pets is a very, very unusual observation. So I would say most definitely owning 33 pets is very unusual, but it could be that they're just reporting owning goldfish or something like that. I don't know. So wouldn't be too unusual for someone to have an aquarium with 33 fish is kind of unusual. So the degree to which it's unusual, I am uncertain about. If it's 33 horses or a farm, not that, once again, unusual doesn't mean bad, but how many students have a farm? It's unusual. If your friend's like, oh, I work on a farm, you're like, oh, that's cool. They're like, well, that's my parents have a farm. You're like, oh, really? I don't know. His parents have a farm. I don't see that often. Unusual just means uncommon. So owning an aquarium is uncommon. Having a farm is uncommon, at least these days. So once again, unusual doesn't mean bad, just means unlikely. We don't see it that often. And there's only one person out of 806 who meets this criteria. So maybe this person might own a farm and aquarium too. I mean, maybe some people over here, maybe they just have like 5 cows and 3 horses and 1 pig. You never know. You got to ask. What's really cool is if you look at pet expense, this is not required. I'm going a little above and beyond right here. So let's look at pet expense by number of pets. So we're actually making a scatter plot now. And the pet expense kind of clues us in a little bit on here. So that person over there who owns the 33 animals, they are only spending, trying to bring us down right here. The person with the 33 animals, they are only spending, hover over them. You gonna show it? There you go. $3,000. So that's less than $100 per animal. I don't even know how that's possible. It's gotta be like an aquarium or something. But you go over here and you've got someone spending $20,000 with 4 pets. So that might be the horses, just by nature of expenditure. Another person spending a lot right there, or they just misreported their data. You do see kind of a increase right here. You've just got a bunch of outliers over here, unusual observations. Like literally everyone up here might be horses or a large animal. And then people over here might be like aquarium people. We don't know. We're just kind of thinking about what this data might show. This is the number of pets. This is the pet expenditure. And you are currently viewing a scatter plot. A scatter plot is the visualization of bivariate data. This is chapter 6, 7, and 8 when we talk about scatter plots. And a time plot would be if it had a categorical X on it. I mean, quantitative, oh my gosh, a time nature to it on the x-axis. I was looking down there at the bottom with the side-by-side box plots and the stacked histograms. So knowing your graphics is very important and understanding what visual displays you could make, because this is what can help you in other classes. Maybe you have to graph something, you have to interpret it and understand what's going on right here with the bivariate nature of data. But yeah, that's good stuff right there. Any other questions? Might talk a little bit about 320. We'll see what questions people have. Or we'll head back to the main screen. What questions are there? Drop your questions in the chat. It's half are graded. Half of 201 is graded. Need the other half graded. What questions are there? Let's go look at a little 320 notes. Let me tag them. They're like, I'm currently talking about 320. One person's watching. Me. Tag them. Go over to 320. About okay. Just tag them in the chat and in Discord. That's the easiest way for me to get messages out. So once again, if you're in the Discord for 201 or 320, easiest way for me to get messages out, just throwing tag on the Discord and be like, boop. And that way people see it on the Discord and maybe we'll see someone in the chat right here. But let's go pull up this week's notes right here for 320. And we'll do it. Let's head over to the main screen. No, wrong button. Okay. So, upcoming 320 assignment. EAS 320. Upcoming assignment. Assignment 3. Let's go talk about a little bit about the work right here and the upcoming stuff we're doing. We're going to go over here to the modules. And we're going to go down here to associations. Associations. Chapter 2, associations. We're going to download the notes. Download the notes. Let's get the notes up on the screen. And if you're here for 201, maybe some people are, but you're going to see a lot of the same stuff. A little preview of class today. You can always come in and say, hey, Brian, let's talk about class. Let's get your own personal lecture right here. Okay. So here are the notes and what we're going to be talking about. So Dr. Petrie wrote these notes in 2016. Oh, my gosh. We are currently updating 320. So I'm part of the update team, or kind of, well, I shouldn't say that. Emery and Dr. Petrie are. I guess I am because we were asking to make some videos. But Dr. Petrie's heading it. Absolutely amazing guy right here. He did the big update a long time ago. So now we're in the process of doing another update. And I'm also piloting some stuff here this semester, testing out some stuff. And we'll be making some new videos. So really great stuff to come in the future if you aren't taking 320 now. But currently where it's at, the things I think we're doing this semester in my class, I'm super excited because I'm seeing some amazing work to start. Really shout outs. And I've got a lot of big, exciting news today. If you come to class, I think people will be very happy with a few changes I made, which I think will reduce your workload. If you're watching this right now, maybe you didn't come to class or you're watching, what you're going to turn in. Hey, Parker, good to see you here. So Parker, you get to hear the change first. Are you ready? So the Thursday lab, Tommy, good to see you here. Ooh, exciting news. I like that right there. Emma, good to see you there. So the Thursday lab will be your rough draft of your Sunday assignment. So by doing the Thursday lab, you're going to turn in, like on Thursday, together, we will work on your rough draft. So you no longer have a Saturday due date. I've taken away one due date. So you don't have a Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, massive win rate. Yeah, and don't worry. And huge thank you to everyone who's like commented on how much work they were doing. I don't want this class to consume your life. You have other classes. I always look and readjust. Everyone did a lot of work last week. And so now I'm like, okay, now the Thursday lab gets you prepped to do the Sunday assignment, like 100%. Like, it's not like, wait a minute, I did it over here on this data and I don't know what I'm doing with this other data. It's going to be that the Thursday lab is the start of your Sunday assignment. And then you turn in on Thursday. Once again, and that's going to give you a bigger head start on the assignment to ask more questions. So, yeah, the Thursday lab is the rough draft. Any other thoughts on that? I'm glad Parker, massive win right there. So by Thursday night, you'll have an understanding of what you're doing on Sunday assignment. Tuesday, you learn the material. Thursday, you get started on your assignment. Sunday, you turn it in. You're done. I like that timeline now. That's a much smoother timeline of like, not like Saturday and everything. You're welcome, Parker. Well, and thank you to everyone who gave comments. I take constructive feedback. I just know a lot of people spent a lot of time on this assignment, and it probably ate up much of their weekend. Like, a lot of people probably had to sacrifice, time spending with friends or doing things, and you have other classes. That's something I always keep in mind, is I am not your only class. This is not your one class to work on the weekend. So you might have had another class, and I don't want you to get behind something else because you're like, well, I have to do analytics every weekend. So hopefully free up your time and kind of space out your work a little bit more. You could start things on Tuesday, basically, because once you hear what we're doing on Tuesday, that's going to give you the mindset. So here we are. This is what we're doing. Here's a quick overview of what we're doing. Take a look. You ready? Let me go right to the lecture screen. Oh, Tommy, that's awesome. Yeah, that's what I like it. I have a lot of fun doing these. So I agree, Tommy, right there. It's a lot of fun. Totally agree. Two quantities have an association if knowing one gives you information about another. Like, you could say how much you study is associated with your grade, because people who study more generally have higher grades. Now, it doesn't mean if you study, you will get a higher grade, but associations narrow down quantities. So when we look at associations, here's the GPA people had and their salaries. Now we're doing it as groups. But what association do you see right here really quickly? These are side-by-side box plots. What association do you see right here really quickly? You'd be like, oh, a higher GPA is associated with what? So we should be able to notice associations very quickly, at least graphically. You'd be like, oh, the higher GPA is associated with a higher salary. So you'd say, if I know, but does that mean if you get a higher GPA, you will have a higher salary? Yes or no? If you get a higher GPA, you will have a higher salary. Does that mean that? If you have a higher GPA, no, Wallace, great answers right there, Wallace. It doesn't mean that. It means if you know someone's GPA, it would narrow down the possibilities. Like, you'd be like, you're more likely to have a higher salary. It doesn't mean you do have a higher salary. Great job, Emma, right there too. This is the offensive yards that a team gets and their wins. There's a positive correlation right here. So what if next year the Patriots said, if we get more offensive yards, we will win? Is that true? Be careful, I'm trying to trick you. If we get more offensive yards, we will win. Oh, that's a great answer. Not necessarily. Because what if a team decided just to hand the ball to the other team and said, look, we know that more offensive yards is associated with winning, so we're going to give you the ball, let you run a touchdown, and then you can try to defend against us, and we'll just get some offensive yards. I mean, it is true that they'll get a ton of offensive yards because they'll just get the ball back, and after, like, the team just jogs into the touchdown line, whatever it's called, the end zone. But the thing is there's other variables in play right here. So you never want to give this causation idea that, like, if you do this, you will win, because there's other variables at play that also go into winning. You can't just get offensive yards. You also have to have a defense. So they say the best offense is a good defense, because if the other team gets 0 points, well, if your team gets any points, you win. So truthfully, defense wins football games right there, because if your offense is great and your defense is horrible, well, then your offense is going to make up a lot of grounds for the defense. It's a combo. Practical and statistical significance. We're just giving a big overview right here. Practical is the do I care, which is the hardest one. Statistical significance is literally p-value less than 0.05, and that's all it is. If the p-value is less than 0.05, it's statistically significant. The results we see are unlikely by random chance, and that is the easiest one to do like this. Low p-value means unlikely by random chance. So now we get into two categorical variables. What kind of graphic do we have for two categorical variables? What kind of graphic do we have for two categorical variables? Not a histogram. Good answer. Good answer. Not a histogram. Histograms are for one quantitative. Mosaic. I'm a great answer right there. Mosaic. Mosaic and contingency table. So here's bar charts to start. There's bar charts. There's a histogram, a stacked bar chart on the left, and there's a, excuse me, oh my God, I said histogram. There's a mosaic plot on the right and stacked bar chart on the left. And here we go. So if you were given the choice, a company says you want your customers to click through, would you tell them to use position 1 or position 2 to have people click through on your ad? Which of those sounds like a better idea? Position 1 or position 2 would be more likely to have your customers click through. You want them to click through. You want them to click on the ad. That's what a click through is. From this research we did, where should you put the banner? Position 2, great job, Wallace, right there. So we'd go position 2 because there is a higher, if you look at this right here, within that, that is the conditional distribution. So within position 2, they're more likely to click. And good answers, everyone practicing. Does that make sense right there, Parker? Like, given position 2 is what we are using, there is a higher probability someone clicks versus position 1. It's maybe like a 20 to 10%, like they're 10% more likely to click. And that's what we would report to someone. No worries, no worries. You'd report to someone when you talk about the important differences right here. The practical significance is going to be this, like what percent more likely are they to click? That is the practical significance right there. Like if we switch to position 2, it goes from about 9% click-through rate to 18% click-through rate. We can find out the exact percentages right here. Is that it? 16. So it's about 10% difference on people clicking through. Now, the devices people use, there are a lot of differences. But why do you think some of these devices have a bigger region down here versus some of these devices have a smaller region? Why do you think like device 18 and this graphic is not the best graphic in the world? Labels are too small. I don't know how to make this graphic look great. It's got a ton of labels. Requires combined rare levels. Why do you think some of those are really small? This is called the marginal distribution. That's a margin over there. This is a review of Stat 201. Why do you think some of those margins are pretty small? Because probably not a lot of people what? You're getting a head start on today's lecture. Now you see some of the code coming up. Probably not a lot of people what? What information does that tell us down there on the bottom of the graphic? Device 12 and device 16, because those are the device models, are probably some of the most used devices. Yeah, well, this isn't the click-throughs over here. So that's the click-through. And then this is the frequency of device models. So the width on the bottom tells us that this is kind of the most used device. So this is a lot of people. And this is few people right there. Few people have that device. So these smaller widths are devices that a lot of people don't have. Exactly. Great job, Emma, just following perfectly right there. So the margins tell us the overall percentage of each group. Good to see you here, Alan. Hey, congratulations on graduating, Alan, right there. Nice picture. So just talking about the widths. We're doing a quick overview of the lecture. But now we want to see how strong the association is. We have some notes up from yesterday. When an association is weak within the condition, there are small differences between the conditions. Notice here that these are very similar. So within like female and male, the differences between where they sit in classes, like the percent of females who sit in the front, the percent of females who sit in the back, percent of males who sit in the front, percent of males who sit in the back, very small difference. When we look at the frequency of dropped calls, yeah, no, let's throw you 100 points here for swing by. What do you notice? If you have AT&T, talk to me about this. If you have AT&T, your dropped calls, you are more likely to have what versus Verizon. So just compare these two. So if you look at within Verizon, within AT&T, AT&T has a higher frequency of what? I added a new chat message from Ubot right there so people remember to get bonus points. So within AT&T, there is a higher frequency of the often and occasionally dropped calls. So if you're starting a company, sorry AT&T, I've got AT&T. I do have a lot of problems with service. Sorry, AT&T. Not sorry. Verizon has the kind of the higher frequency of calls not dropping within Verizon. Rarely is kind of the good one. We want rarely dropped calls. That's the good one. And for the AT&T, it's a lot lower. Now, these are called the conditional distributions because it's a condition given someone has AT&T, what's the probability they get rarely dropped calls? Given someone has Verizon, what's the probability they rarely have dropped calls? And you can figure that out right here by going within AT&T and figuring out the probability of rarely dropped calls is this right here. So that is how we can do a conditional distribution. Would this have been for, yeah, it could be, yeah. And great job, Emma and Parker, following along. Does that make sense how I can look at a conditional distribution right here for just AT&T? You could do it for any provider you want, but a conditional distribution, and I've got such good notes. This is, and I love it because this is 201. Here's our notes from yesterday from 201, where we talk about the conditional distribution takes one variable like rating, sets a level to it, and then looks at the distribution of it to say if someone was neutral on their rating, what's the probability they had white chocolate? So you could switch it up and do like if they had extreme dark chocolate, what's the probability they liked it? But once again, we're doing the same thing right here by saying, let's look at provider, look at just AT&T, and look at the probability of rarely dropped calls. So that is a conditional distribution. But now the marginal distribution is simply one of the distributions where. So the marginal distribution is simply one of the distributions in the where versus the conditional sets a condition. Think about why it's called the marginal distribution. We're getting people ready for class today. Why is it called the marginal distribution? It's called the marginal distribution because it's simply the what? Both of those are just the distribution where. A marginal distribution is just a distribution in the margin. That's all a marginal distribution is. It's just in the margins. So you got the marginal distribution of dropped call, you got the marginal distribution of provider. That's all it is. There's the marginal distribution. So there's the margin of provider. There's the margin of dropped calls. Once again, if you see where they're highlighted right there, look at the bolding on it. You'll notice that they're just in the margins. But a conditional distribution sets a condition for, a lot of times we do an X, but you can switch X and Y. The conditional sets a condition and sets a level and then says like, given someone has AT&T, what is the frequency of dropped calls or rarely, often, occasional for AT&T customers? And specifically, I show the mathematics right here. Let's erase down to it. The green and the highlighting are the, oops, well, I got to rewrite that. The math for it is 93 divided by this, and then all of them are solved for you over here, showing you for AT&T. You can do it for any which way you want, and there's all the conditional distributions and the marginal distribution on the side, and it's very clear to see that occasional drop calls are higher for AT&T, lower for Verizon, and the best one right here is Verizon with the rarely, which we want rarely dropped calls, which is the best of dropped calls. And yeah, that is... Which one did I click? Hey, it's Julio. That's from my Julio interview right there. I just clicked a random button. It's not Wacky Wednesdays, is it? It's Wacky Tuesdays. Well, I won't do too much on this right here because this is more the mathy side of it. And I'm not going to put this on the test. So once again, if you come to class, some of the notes are not as super important because I'm focusing more on the analytics side of it. You're welcome, Wallace. But here's the thing. We now need ways to graph this and talk about this. We'll talk about permutation procedure. This code we have right here is super awesome. So here's what we can do in R. You ready? Get R loaded up right here. 10 billion things. Okay, let's talk about coding this week in 320. Okay. So preview of lecture or lecture speedrun, we'll call that last section. So this is coding. BAS 320. Coding or association coding. By the way, when is our first exam? I think it'll be right around spring break. I don't know if I have the time listed. I think I have it listed as a coming up time. So stay tuned. I'll release more information. Emma, thank you for asking. I'll release more information about that. I could probably figure out what time. We'll figure that out pretty soon here. Remind me, Emma. We'll figure that out. We'll have it posted pretty soon right here. So if you are starting this week's assignment and you are allowed to use any data you want, the goal is that you do all your own work, you turn in all your own assignment. Once again, if you don't have to start the assignment now, But if you're in my classes, you're always going to make an RMD file right here. So if you want to do that now, you can make your own RMD file, have an RMD file, because you're going to have to knit it and turn in your RMD and your Word doc to show you create your own work. Very important that everyone knows what we're doing and follows along and creates professional reports all semester. That is the goal. Every week is a professional report. So some of it's your writing, some of it is your graphics, some of it is your understanding of the data, because it all has to come together that we can understand the data, explain the data, and present the data to people. Because if we can't do those tasks, what are we doing? Here we go. Okay. So I'm in an R file. I'm not in an RMD because I'm just writing R code. I could transfer all this to an RMD, but we're going to start here by going library reg class. Now, if you don't have library reg class, maybe it didn't work. What do you need to do for 50 points? If you run library reg class and it says like no library reg class, or like, here, I'll do it with one. It says there's no package called library reg class 2. I don't think there's a library reg class 2. What would you need to do? Someone's ran into that error right now. Install.packages, Emma, you're on fire right there. We love that. So you'd want to go down here to the bottom. You only install packages once and make sure it's in quotes right there. Don't put the slash. That's what you would do right there. Install.packages reg class. And I run it down here on the bottom because you only install stuff one time. Great job, both Emma and Parker right there. So what's really cool is you can actually look inside of reg class and see all the functions. We're actually going to use the associate function. I think this lets you view it. There it is. There's the associate function. So you know all that code we've been writing? Watch this. All that code we've been writing. Dr. Petrie wrote this for you. When I run the associate function, how many lines of code am I running? Someone's like, oh no. But don't worry. When I run the associate function, how many lines of code am I running? Nearly what? Nearly what? When I run the associate function, nearly 1,000 lines of code are going to run for me. Now, if you don't know how to use the associate function, what would you do? Like if you're like, I have no idea what's going on with this associate function. I go here to associate and I have no idea how to use it. What could you hit right now to help yourself out? You're like, I got no idea what's going on with this. Totally lost. What is this associate function? What's going on with it? What could it, question mark or F1, right? So you can do question mark or F1 right there. And Parker's saying, and that's the way I usually do it, Parker. A lot of people use the F1 way. But if you put a question mark before it, and once again, don't knit that, it won't knit. It'll show you kind of what's going on with this. It'll explain the function. And best of all, we get examples down here on the bottom where you can literally just take the code right here and run the code. So you can grab this code, which you need to have the dataset salary loaded up first, which is in reg class. And I can show you why it is, because we go salary, and it's from the reg class package. This is how you load data native to R. So loads data already in R, where read CSV, not capital, reads a CSV file. Excel files often. So that's reading in a file. So this loads data already in R that we have kind of available to us, where the read files read in a file that's on your computer. So this is going to read a file on your computer versus this is going to load data R already has access to. Now, if you notice, salary is a quantitative variable and education is a categorical, like what was your level of education? It's categorical. No, is that quantitative? Let's see. Oh, we didn't load the salary data. And now salary data is loaded up there in the global environment. See it? And we run it. Yes, it is quantitative. How many years of education do you have? So we actually got a scatter plot here. Once again, this goes back to Stat Tool 1, that if you have two quantitative variables, Q, Q, you'll hear that a lot in 201, you'll get a scatter plot. But you know what's really great about this, Parker? Watch this. Data, survey 10. If we go here to gender and handedness of survey 10, now we get a mosaic plot. So the graphic you get depends on the what? The graphic you get here depends on the what? The graphics you get depends on the what's. So you see here's this, there's this. It's still all I'm just running the associate function. The graphics you get here depends on the what's. The graphics you get here depends on the what's. because I just got differences between mosaic, the inputs, which are the types of the variables, right? If you give it 2 categorical variables, you get a mosaic plot. You see handedness and gender, 2 categorical variables, mosaic plot, bottom right corner right there. If you give it a categorical variable X and a quantitative Y, you get side-by-side box plots. See the side-by-side box plots right here? That's a categorical X and quantitative Ys. You also get side-by-side histograms of sorts with these histograms right here, multiple histograms for each group. Yeah, it just gives it all to you right here. And you can use this output. Well, we might make it look more fancy, but this, how long of a code is that to write? UTK sent me an email, so I'm saying starting to, yes. No. I can keep you in the Discord. Oh, thank you. And Alan, thank you so much for promoting the Discord. And they told personal opinions with Brian. People were told that they would keep their email address. And I think a lot of people set up things that way, being like, well, this is an email address I get to keep. I don't understand why we're doing it. Yeah, I'm allowed to speak my opinion, obviously. Personally, I don't know why we're doing it, and I think you should be able to keep your email address. So I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't make these decisions. I'm not paid to make these decisions. But you can obviously stay in the Discord. Just let me know if there's ever a problem with authentication, Alan. Just maybe at this point, send me something from your UTK saying your new email address. That's going to be the best way for me to authenticate you are Alan. Does that make sense? Like if someone contacts me in the future and says I'm Alan, we've spoken before, so I know what your voice sounds like. I'd probably have a good guess. But at this point, maybe to be extra secure, send me... I'm always like, if I'm pretty certain it's someone, I might, do it. But then if someone were to cause trouble, then we would remove them. But I don't think you're going to cause trouble. Does that make sense? Like if someone's like, hey, it's me, I'm doing this at this company, I don't have my email address anymore, can I join the Discord? I'd probably be like, yes. And then if they started spamming or something or posting links they shouldn't or something, I'd be like, gone. So we have a 1-strike rule on the Discord. I don't think a lot of people know that. The Discord is very strict with a 1-strike rule since it's students and I don't want anything bad. We've only had one thing posted that shouldn't be posted. And the mods were so quick to take it down. And it's just the way it goes with the internet. You're on the internet, things are going to happen. And then you just need people moderating. So we have moderation. That's what you have to have for stuff. Yay, thank you, mods. It's just strange because all the BUAD classes make us create our LinkedIn accounts using... Oh, no. Yeah, that's... Yeah. I want to know who made this decision. Like how it was made, why it was made. I don't understand. I do not. And then it's going to cause a lot of problems if they start recycling emails because like I'm B Stevens. Like, I want to keep my UTK email. I love it being B Stevens at utk.edu. If someone were to then be B Stevens in the future, I've had that for like 22 years. So that could cause issues. Like all of a sudden someone else is B Stevens and then they're going to get emails, be like, hey, Professor Stevens. They're like, oh, he's not here anymore. That's, I don't want to say that. No, I'm staying at UT for forever. 100 years from now, I'll be at UT. Job interest related. Yeah, exactly, Parker. So I wonder if I don't know. Who would I speak to talk to him about that? Maybe I'll make a call here after office hours. Maybe I'll end a little bit early, make some calls. I don't know. Why can we not get it changed? I don't know. My opinion. I think it's very valuable to have that. Let's look at the code right here. What's the code have? GPA is the quantitative Y variable. Handedness is the categorical X variable. Data is the data set we're using. Permutations is the number of randomness procedures. I didn't speak about permutations because that's a much larger topic. How many bars... Do you see this right here? This is the one permutation down here. This is a much larger topic, talking about how the p-value is calculated via the randomness procedure. I can actually tell you the p-value for the averages. This p-value is 20%, 20%, 1. How do you think I knew all those p-values? That would be 20%, 20%, 1. I did 5 permutations, and do you see how there's only one beyond the result, which is our result? I did 5 permutations, there's only one beyond our result. I did 5 permutations, and they're all 100% beyond our results. So it's the probability of our results more extreme had by random chance variation, given that the null is true. And the permutation procedure does this. So I could do 4 permutations right here, and I can actually tell you the p-values once again, because it looks like there's one 1, and then all 4 again. So that's going to be, because that's 1 out of, it's hard. Yeah, that is 1 out of 3. The things, if you increase the size of graphic, I'll show. So that's 25, 25, 1. And there's the p-values, 25, 25, 1. You're not meant to know it that in depth. I don't know. Having that sort of understanding really helps. If you regenerate the graphics, it'll look better. Oh, you see different p-values because it's randomness. 0, 0, 75% it looks like. So the p-value is right there. Where's p-values? There it is, 0, 0. Oh, and then this one actually falls right over there. It's hard to tell if it's on the bin because the value is somewhere contained in that bin, as we know from histograms, that the bin shows you there is a value contained within this range. And we should have heights over here. It's hard to tell, but there are 4 permutations. So that's permutation 1, 2, 3, 4. If you increase the permutations, is something we should use. It gets more complicated to do because now you have to be like, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the 40. So 7 out of 40 is 17.25%. And there's the 17.25 p-value right there, 17.5%. I had learned a new function, join the stream. Yeah, great job, Alan. It's a really good function in the associate in the reg class package, and it can just take 2 variables. Now, the way we're using it this week is we're doing it with 2 categorical variables. Like, does someone's gender explain their handedness? And if you notice right here, the differences are very small, and we landed right here, and a lot of the random results are at or beyond our result. So these are the differences kind of standardized, the discrepancies we observe, and the most likely discrepancy, like, let me put it this way. If our graphic looked like this, what would be the numeric value of the discrepancy? If our graphic looked like this, what would the numeric value of our discrepancy be? And I promise I'm not trying to trick you. Just think there's no discrepancy. If our graphic looked like that, what would be the numeric value of the discrepancy? If our graphic looked like that, what would be the numeric value of the discrepancy? And there's no discrepancy right there between the conditional distributions. So if our graphic looked like that, the discrepancy would be what? It'd be 0. Exactly, Parker. It'd be 0. There's no discrepancy. So a stronger association will have a wider discrepancy. A stronger association, less likely by random chance, would have a wider discrepancy. A stronger association will have a wider discrepancy because these are the discrepancies between the conditional distributions. So where it's like 40% of B passed versus 90% of A passed. A stronger discrepancy will have a wider, stronger association will have a wider discrepancy. A stronger association will have a wider discrepancy. Have a larger, higher, larger, exactly, larger, higher. So look at this. This discrepancy is small. And how do you know if it's small? All of these discrepancies in these gray boxes are created by random chance. So a large discrepancy would be over here on the extreme side because all of these are just random chance. Random chance means there is no association. So every one of these was generated just randomly. So there is really no evidence of an association here because all these random chance discrepancies look to be kind of like ours. Ours is just blending in, hiding out with the random chance ones. But let's do where there's a much larger discrepancy. I'm going to load a different data set right here. Data survey 11. Attach is a trick you can do. And let's go here and take a look. So we're going to go to survey 11 and find something bigger. I need 2 categorical variables. Let's see right here. No, because it's got to be categorical. Yeah, well, maybe. Gender. Okay, let's see if somebody's... Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. So here is our discrepancy. Females are more likely to what? Look at the data right here and tell me females are more likely to what? So look at the data and tell me what? Females are more likely to what from this data? So does the association helps create the visual? It does, exactly, Alan. Good answer, Alan. It does. So it creates it based on the variable type. Females are more likely to what here? Females are more likely to what? Versus males. This is old data from 12 years ago now. Have a Mac, Emma, that's right. And then we could go here to the data and take a look, and we could look at, given someone owns a Mac, the probability they're female. So let's see, does gender explain computer? So as we say in stat tool 1, you can switch this around, and now you can see given someone is female, they're more likely to own a Mac, and now it's easier to read. The percent of females who own a Mac is 54%. The percent of males who own a Mac is 44%, or right at. So there's about a 10% difference. I would literally subtract these numbers, and you could put this in your report, because then you could take this value and times by 100, and times by 100. There's that, and then you could take this value, round it to 2 decimals, and there you go. There's a difference of 10.43%. And this is the kind of code you want to be thinking about, because doing it by hand leads to errors. So it's like, okay, let's subtract the difference, let's times it by 100, throw it inside of a round function, and there you go. And it might be easier a lot of times just to store this as x, and then you can go round what I stored as x to 2 decimals right there. So this is how coding makes our life easier, because we're not having to do the work by hand. We're not having to find the values. We can just literally copy paste a number right here and be like, let's look at these differences. Yeah. Cool. Oh, Alan, do you want to see something crazy right here? This is really cool. Do people use R at PepsiCo, Alan? And thank you for saying that. So here's something really cool. For data investigation, what you can do, and be careful, this can create a lot of output. We're loading the library ggpubr. And shouts to PepsiCo right there. Super helpful class. I'm the king of careless mistakes. Yeah, exactly. Don't type values in yourself. Copy paste them. Let the code find the answers for you. I think this is right here. No, where is it at? Let me find my function. I'm gonna show you the coolest function I know of. Where's GG pairs? GG ally. GG ally. There's so many GG packages. People make a bunch of these. GG ally. What does GG ally mean? Why do we have GG ally? I know I'm looking for the function in here. The R package is applying system underground graphics by adding several functions to reduce the complexity. So it reduces the complexity. So shout out to these people right here who made the function GG pairs. And there it is right there. You can see what package it's inside of by looking at that. Some teams use R. Yeah. So there you go. Some teams using R. Take a look at this. What do you think GG pairs does for you? What do you think GG's pairs does for you? And you know code's doing a lot when it does this. Now this is a little bit too much. So we're going to take here and say only do columns 1 through 5. So only do columns 1 through 5 right here. What do you think GG pairs does for you? It does all the variables, pairwise combinations, and univariate. Like this is the distribution of miles per gallon, the correlation between miles per gallon and cycle. It does all the variables univariate and does all the pairs. So if I go here to survey 10 or survey 11, it'll do all the pairwise combinations. Okay, those look good. So here's all the variables and all the combinations. It does every combination. Now this, I wouldn't put this in a report because this is a little too much, but this is great data investigation. So it's doing the right graphics based on the variable type, just like we were doing a second ago. Its mosaic plots are a little something to not so happy with those mosaic plots. But overall, if you're looking for some quick data analysis right here, you can quickly tell that height is associated with gender right here. You can see the differences between females and males, weight association right there. Here we go with the differences in handedness, but you can quickly kind of do some data analytics, and we might want to increase the size of the screen or decrease the font. Once again, you want to be careful how many variables you plot, but this is such a cool thing right here. Yeah, it's so quick to get you the analysis, and you can see all the things. So you could find, like, this is a strong quantitative association between height and weight right there. So a strong quantitative relationship. You got stacked histograms down here, but it does all the combinations. Just so cool. And then it gives you correlation values. It also puts stars on them if they're statistically significant. So these correlations are very small, likely by random chance. And it plots, you see the uniform distribution of ID because that's an identifier. So it's very uniformly distributed. But yeah, super, super cool thing right there. And yeah, I think you can do a color. Let me try this. It's really cool. No. Seen Julia, what's her name? Always look at their examples, Call names. So you can change the column names. Mapping. Oh, here we go right here. Mapping. ggplot2 aesthetic color. Okay, so let's take their graphic. P_M. Wait, what? What is that? I don't know what that does. Diamond sample. So they have to take the diamond sample. Okay. What is this P_M? Oh, print if small function display plots only if it's interactive. Okay, there we go. All right, so here's what the real capabilities of it are. So we're looking at their graphics. Wow. I mean, it's a little bit much right now, so we could go down and decrease the amount of variables on this. But it's got a mapping variable on it for the color. Like this is too much. You can't really tell what's going on there, but you can see right here. But lots of information, really cool way to analyze data. But all this analysis was done for us very, very quickly, just in a flash right there. And you can see these side-by-side box plots, the kind of, I think these are stacked histograms right there. Hey, oh, awesome, Colin, good to see you right here. My coworker and I are using our studio as we speak for some ad hocs. This class was very helpful. Yeah, of course, Colin. That's what we like to do. And we're showing even better analysis these days on how to do these things. So you can see right here the depth of the diamonds, a lot of less variation as you go between the diamonds right there. And so this is kind of what's possible. I would not make this graphic for somebody at first. We're going to try to make better graphics such that if we were to go over here and go to GG box plot and let's look at the GG mosaic because that's what we're doing. So let's make a really good mosaic right here. GG mosaic is the library to make really good mosaic plots. And we're going to go inside of GG mosaic and we're going to go to geomosaic. We're going to put a question mark before this and look at how they're making it. Once again, the questions down here are going to be a huge help for us to see how the data looks and how to organize our data. And they're showing how to do it right here. So a lot of business analytics courses are very, yeah, exactly. Power BI, thank you, Alan, for saying that. Yeah, I think we should be doing way more with Power BI. 100% agree with that. 100% agree. Power BI is great for making dashboards, interactivity. That is not a good mosaic plot so far. That is not a good mosaic. Chord flip. Wait. Let's see what they got down here. Let's look at this graphic. How are we doing on this graphic? I gotta space it out more. Whoa, that's too much. But they're doing another variable right here. They're doing it by 8. That's so interesting. Look at you can tell something going on there. Go more in depth on that. Not loving these so far. A facet grid, so we're gonna get multiples. I want to see one that looks like what I want. Because they're doing multiples. Let's remove the facet grid. Facet grid's creating the 4 of them. Well, that's not good. I want something that looks just the way I want it. But how do I want it to look? That's what we did before. Try a few more right here. The relabeling. Okay, this age axis. Come on, examples. You got to do better than that. That is not a good age axis. But overall, this is kind of what we're looking for. So this is pretty good. We don't need the relabeling of it. So now we're going to go right here. And we should be good. Okay, so now you can see the variables you need. Here's the data frame we need. So this is the data frame. The weight. Ooh, how's the data frame look? Let me go glimpse of that data. Oh, we don't have dplyr on. Really? No dplyr yet? And glimpse the data. dplyr has a function called glimpse, which allows us to look at it. Weight sol? Product of age. Age looks like this. Oh, they're turning it into a product, so we probably don't have to do that for ours. And then weight sol is how many? So I think they're doing a table of it. Oh, okay. I want to do this with our data, make it look a lot better right here in this geomosaic. I've done some GG mosaics before, but I didn't think it was this complicated. because the way the data is organized is they're turning this into a product. And so that's going to be the X variable of interest. So this is our X. And then I think this is the amount in each group. This has that many rows. Well, let's just try the weight. And then the fill is happy. Happy, where's happy on here? Or wait, that's in happy. Wait, where's happy? Am I going crazy? Here's happy. Wow. So that's the categorical Y variable of interest. And then what is the weight solve? Maybe we don't need that weight. It might get mad at us. So that's the Y variable right there. And this is the data frame. Okay. So if our data frame is survey 11, we'll go survey 10 because I know gender and handedness really well. Gender, handedness. What happens? There you go. That's it. We done it. We done it. That's all it takes. And what we should be able, and there we go. Pretty nice. Now we have a nice looking GG mosaic plot from here. So this is what you need. And what's even better is I could take this right here because this looks a little bit complicated. And I could take this function. These are things we like to do. And we could make a function. I know, right, Alan? Watch this, though. Let's say easy mosaic. Now we go right here. We put X, Y, data frame. And we drop the function in here. And we could throw it inside of a return. Or we could store it as graphic P. And then graphic P is going to be returned right here on graphic P. And we go here to easy mosaic. And then we've created our easy mosaic function where we take something like, is it X01 gender, comma, X, what's the other ones? Hair color, sure, why not? Hair color, comma, I like to space these out. So now we go survey 11. And there you go. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, you know why? Because I didn't inside of here change this to data frame, X, and Y. And now we rerun it. And there you go. Oh, but we got a problem here on the X-axis. What have I done? What is it mad about? Something went wrong. We're so close. Why is it not like that? Why is it not like that? Handedness. Let me look at this again. Handedness is the Y variable. And the X variable down here, or X is gender. Did I not put X right there? And this is Y. Well, I'll be. What's it not like about this? Let's go back here and try it as the default. Survey 11. And we're so close. Oh, what is it not liking about that as a function? Let's just run. So that's weird. It runs. Okay. The only thing I did different was save it to P. Okay, so why is that? Why is it? Is it because I'm not putting in gender, which is X? Let me switch my variables real quick, which it does not make logical sense why this is not working right here. Huh. Well, is this our studio? Yep, this is our studio. Thank you for asking right here. And let me throw 100 points, Alan, answering the question. Courtney, what are you wondering about? We're making some nice mosaic plots right here to look at some relationships between variables. Males are more likely to have black hair right there. Females are more likely to have blonde hair. We're answering the big questions in life right now. Hair color determined or explained by gender, which is two categorical variables. One of the things I love about this, which we'll show right here, is now we can go to GG title. And these are the things, let me post this on the Discord and say my mosaic plot. There's the GG title on it, and I'm going to post this to the 320 Discord and say mosaic from class, mosaic from office hours, and for people looking for it right there. So there's the mosaic from the office hours. And here's what's really great, Alan. Yeah, and so check this out. You ready? Library easy, or GG easy. So library GG easy is one of my favorite things because we can go here to easy center title. And guess what it does? It just centers that function right there. Now we can also go to easy all text size. Easy all text size is going to change the font of everything. So we can actually increase or decrease the font on certain things or everything if we want right there to make the text bigger. It might be really good right there. You could decrease the window. And if you want, once you get your plot exactly the way you want it, you can export to a PNG right here. Yeah. Yeah. Nice job, Courtney, right there. And then this is a pretty good plot, right? Like I would say this is pretty self-explanatory. Like someone could look at this and be like, okay, I see what's going on. Females have more likely the blonde hair and males have more likely the black hair. There's about even for it. And we're looking right here at some 201 stuff, Courtney, with the conditional distribution for males and the conditional distribution for females right there. So you can see right there the distributions. And yeah, what's even better is we could actually make only the title bigger if we want by going here. Let's make everything 12. And then let's go here to easy text size. And on easy text size, we're going to say which equals plot.title. No, wait. Yeah, that's right. Which equals plot.title, I think. And size equals 15. There you go. Oh, didn't work. Let me say which equals Brian. I did that for a reason. It's plot.title. It tells you the things. Is that not it? Let me try it here again. Plot.title 55. Yeah, Mama was a plot right there. Okay, so I must not have noticed the size difference. Let's go 25. I'd give it a different title, but whatever you want to call it. GG Easy. What a name for a library. Exactly. Because watch this. Plus, we can go here to plus, easy, and let's go here to all text color. What do you think all text color does? We can say blue, and all the text is blue. We can say easy all text color, hashtag FF8200, and it now colors them for you in R. But let's say we don't want all the text this color. We can go here to easy, or let's take this code again right here for the plot title, and we'll say which is that, and then we'll say easy text color, and we'll say which is that, and that should just make the plot title. So all text does all the text. We can just change one of them if we want. You don't have to make it UT orange if you want, but that's why I love these easy functions. And once again, if you type something in incorrectly, it'll tell you the names, and usually you can deduce like axis title right there, axis title, axis title X, axis title Y. I think that's all your axis titles. But GG Easy makes things so easy, and you just add it on right here by going easy something. Like easy legend at. I've never done this. Easy legend at. There you go. Just moves your legend. You can just move your legend. We're on it on the bottom now. There you go. Easy move legend. So easy legend at bottom. Just moves the legend for you. Easy this, easy that. And they just take like one thing. So it's like, what does this do? Like you don't have a lot to memorize for the function. It just pretty much says what it does. All text this size. Easy text color, but you have to tell it which thing you want then. Data analytics 2, yeah. And truthfully, check this out. If you want, Courtney, so we did some data analytics 2. Would you like to hear about in RStudio, which you are allowed to use, Courtney, if you want? So we went over data analytics 2 at the start. Would you like to hear about in RStudio to kind of end office hours, Courtney? How's that sound to you? Which, if you want, if you spend a lot of time doing it in RStudio, don't do it. If the graders don't grade it, yeah, I thought you might. I love doing this kind of stuff. If you can't tell, okay. So let's say 201 via RStudio. That's what we're going to call this section. This is doing data analytics 2 in RStudio, not required. I'm going to put a big not required on this. So here we go. Stat 201, data analytics 2, using RStudio. Not required. Okay, so if you're watching this right now in the future, you don't have to use RStudio. Yeah, of course. I even would suggest it. But here's the thing. We don't teach you how to code in 201. There's no kind of... Imagine if we have 1,500 students trying to code. We'd have to redo the course a little bit because we have to give you some advice on this. We have to teach you how to use this, which is the thing I've thought about, that we should be using R in 201. So Courtney, your thoughts on this and what you think and would be very valuable. And once again, you are not required to do this. So if anyone's watching this in the future, if you want to use RStudio, you can. If your teacher let us know. Like, probably clear it with your teacher. I'm okay with it. So clear with your teacher. say, hey, I'd love to do some RStudio. If they say, no, use Jump, use Jump. So I can't speak for everybody, but if you're my student and you want to use RStudio and the graders don't grade you properly, let me know. So you ready, Courtney? Here we go. We are going to make our pie chart first. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get the data loaded in. So let's go right here and load in data. Okay, so we got to load in the data. So you need to go over here to Jump, and you're going to go to File, Save As. I'm going to blank my screen because that way you don't see every file on my computer. File, Save As, and then you have to go. It's just showing Jump files. I think we're good on that. Okay, so I can show this. It's just showing Jump files. So, and just a bunch of instructor stuff and teleprompters and World of Aircraft. We're good. Okay, there we go. So you want to go here to CSV. Does that make sense right there, Courtney? You want to go to File, Save As, .csv. This is going to save the file to your computer. I put everything in my downloads. You want to save the file as a CSV. Now, probably just call it like DA2. Just call it something like DA2.csv. Yes, I want to save, and it's opening now in Excel. Good. Okay, so it'll open in Excel. I called it DA2.csv. So that means I need to go here and go to read.csv, quote, DA2.csv. Now this just prints it to the screen. So we now have it printed to the screen, and we know that it exists, and our computer can access it. So File, Save As, change it to a CSV file, call it something very small usually that you'll know what it is, longer titles, but I usually like to choose really small stuff. Then we're going to go Save As, DA2, right there. Okay, so now we have our data inside of here. Pause if you need anything, because these are the things that for 201, they'd be like, what? I mean, which is a good, like, wait, what? But now we need a random sample, right? So now we need a random sample. So to take a random sample, we're going to go and do the following. There's a lot of functions that do this for you. I should know some, like Caret probably has it, but we're going to go here to random sample, save inside of it, random rows. So we're going to sample within the rows, and I can put this in the chat. Once again, you're not required to do this. Sample from 1 through the number of rows of 806, or wait, of DA2. And there we go, right. Okay. So there, size equals 400 plus the last two of your UTID. Oh, didn't do a comma. Always run your code multiple times. I'll drop this in the chat for you, Courtney. This is, there you go. So there is the code right there. This says, go within the rows of DA2 and only sample a random sample of 423 rows. We take all the columns. Yeah, so that's the code right there. Load the file, take your random sample, and every time you do this, it takes a different random sample. So if we were to look at the data right here, which I guess we could, go to Glimpse. Glimpse is a dplyr function, so let's load that in here. If you don't have dplyr, it's a data manipulation package. It's really good to have. It's by Hadley, Wickham, and others. That's, I don't even know what I loaded there. dplyr, there we go. You'll have to run install.packages dplyr down here on the bottom. Usually run these on the bottom, especially if you're knitting, and we're almost to the point where we can do some screenshots. But the reason I wanted to show this right here is usually we like to look at what we have. And if you notice right here, the first value of weekly hours in social media is 80, because every time we run this, oh, it's doing the same random sample? What? No way. Oh, that's weird. Oh, because I'm glimpsing DA2. Haha. There we go. 32. Does that make sense? So each time I'm doing this, the code on line 4 takes a different random sample of 423 random rows without repeating. So the whole point of the code on line 4 is to get a different random sample. And if you look at the last variable with 14, 20, 10, every time I do this, it's a different subset of individuals. So this is going to make your random sample unique to you. Just change this to your like last two of UTID, and you'll be doing it properly right there. And all the code is set up to run. Load the file. So load file, random sample, and then just glimpse it. But don't knit all this stuff. Random sample. Okay. So now we get to where we're going to use some GG Easy package to make life easier. So library GG Easy and GG, not GG Easy, library, we want library. So what are you going to have to do if you do not have ggpubr, Courtney? We're almost there. If you don't have ggpubr, what are you going to have to do? So just like with dplyr, what code are you going to have to run if if you don't have, and I'll give you a hint on the bottom of the screen here, if you don't have that, what are you going to have to run? I didn't run it. Install, oh, that was me. Yeah, install.packages. You will run install.packages ggpubr. So install.packages quote, and a package is a bunch of things that you're downloading that help you out. They're all from the CRAN server, so they're official unless you change where your repository is. So you'll just be downloading extra things into R to help it out. Everything makes sense? So let me know if you have any questions, but how are we looking on that? Looking pretty good? So you should, if you do install.packages ggpubr, that's going to download it, and then you can run this function right here. I'm not going to run this. I usually run those down the bottom, and now we should have gg, and let's go bar chart. Bar plot. There you go. GG bar plot. So it asks you to do family order, right? So let's go here, GG bar plot. The data is going to be data analytics 2. That's the first argument. And then the variable inside of it is like something family order, is it? Oh, look at the names of those variables. So we're going to have a lot of fun typing this. It's like family order. So this is where the typos occur. If you go down here to the bottom, you type names of DA2. You could go grab it. Was it X17? Family order. Where's family? You just grab one of these. And you can grab the quotes because we're going to use the quotes. And I think this might... Will this do it? No, it doesn't like it. Okay, so I'm going to go here and cheat by doing the question mark on it. And use this to help out with the formatting. And no, no, no! Don't use tables. Doesn't lag. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. We're going to turn it into a table, aren't we? Okay. This is, I'm going to take a second right here. What number is it? Q, let's go Q16. I'll send you this code right here. There's that. Can we just take that? Let me look up something really quick. This is where the internet. Turn table into GG bar chart in R. Okay. Turning a table into a horizontal bar graph using ggplot. So here's their graphics right here. I don't love that one. How to make a bar plot with R from a table, but that's from 12 years ago. How to make a bar plot in R. Yes, but we have to unstructured data. Really? So long ago. All these are so long ago. I don't want the code to be complicated. I want it to be nice and easy. Turn a contingency table into a bar graph. Here we go. No, come on, that's so complicated. Oh, really? Well, they did a nice job with that, but that's so much code. Okay. There's the base R. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. We'll just use base ggplot here. So you need ggplot loaded in right here. Okay, so they're saying make your frequency table. They made the frequency table first. So we make a frequency table from just the variable we're interested in. So DA2, $, and variable name, something like distance from campus. There's the frequency table, and then actually all their code follows. There you go. That's got it. There is the frequency table right there, and we should be able to do right here. So once again, the value. Let me go to color. And probably in the aesthetic, I guess. Can we do color and aesthetic? Color equals and var1. That doesn't, ooh, fill. There we go. Fill. No. I'll send this in the chat. I don't want it there then. Oh, I think it's going to be in the G columns. So wait, I'll send this to you here in a second. Plus GG column. And fill equals this. Oh, really? Cannot find. Okay, so var1. Var1 not found. What? Oh, wait. Maybe we'll try the data frame on it. unknown color. I see what you're saying. Can we not with the ggplot? That's a bummer. I'm bummed out it's not filling it in by color. Let me look at their how you doing, Courtney, on this right here? Let me send you this code right here. We got the fill not working right now, but we're gonna try to make it look more pretty. But this is adding the GG column. So we're right here. We've got it. We want to now add in labs, and the labs are going to allow us to say x equals distance from campus. And notice how that changed right there. We're going to put a comma, put y equals count of individuals. And there's the y right there. Then we're going to go to comma for another argument, title equals distance from campus of UT students. And there's the title right there. So, yeah. And don't worry, if this gets too complicated, just let me know. I might drop this on the... Are you on the Discord, Courtney? Because I could drop this all on the Discord right here. But now we've created a pretty good graphic. The thing I don't like about this right now is it doesn't have the colors. Also, we're kind of crowded on the... No, it doesn't look bad right there. Yes, you are awesome. So go to the Discord, and here is all the code I wrote. I'm gonna drop it on the Discord for you because it's a bit long right there. So here is all the code I wrote right there. So you're really just changing the name of the variable. If you change the name of the variable, then everything else should flow from there. You got a Discord? Yeah, Jack, good to see you right here. We have a Discord for BAS. Join in if you want. Message me from your UTK email if you can't find it, but we can help out with that. We should be able to go to color. GG call. Let's go look at this. I'm gonna make this look really great. Then we'll change it to a bar chart. Stat, position, all that stuff. Well, that's not doing it. We should have it. We should be good. So stat color equals red. Well, let's see, that's just going to change the color of the GG column. Yeah, I mean... Oh, I know what we need. We need to add an aesthetic here. I think the aesthetic... But will it grab it? Because it knows the data frame. So the aesthetic should be var1. No, it didn't do it. This is why you got... Oh, wait. Fill equals... No, wait. Aesthetic... Fill equals var1. Yes! Look at this. I love it. There we go. How is this looking? bstevens@etk.edu. B. Stevens, how is this looking right here? Courtney, is this looking like a pretty good graphic to you? We're showing the distances from campus. I would say yeah, it looks awesome, right? So we had to work around with it a little bit. This is using the GG plots right here. Looking pretty good. We could change probably the axis right there. So we could go to formatting these titles. You probably want to go here and go to, what is it? Levels of data 2, $, the variable name is what? Oh, I have distance from campus. Q5, distance from campus. So these are the level, wait, what? It's not categorical? Oh, yeah. So here we're going to do the following before we load this up. We're going to go to this. This is cleaning of data as dot factor. That turns it into a factor. We're going to overwrite the variable. This is why I would not expect a 201 student to do this. It is working properly, but the reason I did this is I want to create it as a factor, and then as a factor, it'll have levels. And then with the levels, I'm going to overwrite the levels vector with a new vector of 10 through 30 drive. And then the next one is 30 plus drive. And then the next one is campus. And then the next one is going to be the fort. We'll assume people know what that means. Under 10 drive. So now when we do this right here, it's... did I not overwrite it? Oh, I didn't run this code, did I? Why is it not liking it? Let me look at this. The forced? The fort. So that's rewritten. Oh, I think it's right here. The frequency table was not remade. We need to remake our frequency table. Got to do code in order. And now we see it looks better. Yeah, no, this is our goal right here, is to make this graphic look really good. Correct anything up here, distance from campus. Then we're going to add on an easy center title. and there's centered for us right there. And I'd say this graphic is pretty good looking right here. We could also make it into Pareto, put the bars in order. It's actually a little tricky to do that on ggplots. But now what I'm hoping is maybe, just maybe, yeah, that's so Alan, that's kind of where we're going. I wish I could show you some of the work. But Alan, that comment right there, you should make your videos 20th course, do a project they can put on the resume, a data analysis project using R and a data set from CAG. Oh, so we actually, there's a Pokemon data set. So we did NFL analytics, but and I want to get them on maybe GitHub, GitHub. I'm hoping with all this work, can we go to GeomePy? Okay, how could we, a lot of times you can just change stuff right here to like Geom Point or something, and it's probably gonna look weird, but we can change the way it's displaying it by changing the geom right here. Let me look for a ggpie really quickly, and we might be able to make one change. Ggpie chart in R. So we might be able to make one change just to make it a ggpie. Are they using ggpies right here? I love ggpies. Those don't look so good. So GG is the grammar graphics, graphic gallery. Is it ggplot2? Pie chart. Here we go. Okay, so this is how they're making pie charts. There's the pie chart. Okay, so there's a bunch of basic ones on here. Oh, but they've already made their pie. Oh, is it just plus this? No, because they made, and they did geom bar. Did we do geom bar? No, we did. Okay, so we got to go to geom bar. Oh, we had geom bar maybe before. Okay, it's mad at us. It's mad. What's it mad about? Value. Okay, so they're using a table again. Okay, so that's a bummer. We can't just change it really quick right here. So we're going to rewind time to where we didn't mess up our graphic. There's that. And now we're going to take this, and the X aesthetic looks to be nothing, where the Y aesthetic is the value and then the group. So let's look at their code again. The value in the group. So this is the frequency, and this is the value for us, I think. So we want to go here to the current data frame we're using, called that data frame 1, and then the var1 and frequency. We might just be able to do it this quickly. var1 and frequency. I think I've reversed these. I think this is var1. Oh, that looks who did it. Yep, there's the bar they got. Okay, but it doesn't look as pretty. Does ours? Or does? Okay, good. And then we do this code right here. And there we go. We got our pie chart. We've done it. We have a pie chart right now. From here, we might relabel. Is that the y-axis? Yeah, exactly. And I always use examples to follow along. And if your data looks like theirs, because now you can see we can change the colors on it. They're showing you how to change the colors. So actually, I kind of like this theme minimum. So you can easily change it right here to a new theme right here by taking your pie chart. And there you go. There's the new theme. Let's just add on to it some other stuff right here, like GG title. GG title just throws a title on only. So we're going to say pie chart of distance from campus. And now we've got the title on there. Yeah, I know, right? The blue is really nice, like pretty nice right there. And it's kind of, it's not ordinal. If we were going super detailed on this, we'd want to set that in an order. So I could have made it in ordered. Oh, gosh, darn it. I got 8 more minutes. I might do that. Okay, so I might need to go back and make it an ordinal. I don't like that Y label. That might be the Y label. I'm going to test it by saying Y label equals nothing. Oh, it's labs. I always get that wrong. No, that is the X label. I don't like that thing right there. Does that make sense? So I removed it by putting a blank character. There is actually stuff right here. It's just nothing's in here. Like there's a D right there, but I'm just saying don't write anything. Just leave that blank. var1, that's the legend title. So we could change the name of our variable right here if we wanted, but we should be able to go to, maybe legend. Let's say distance. Come on. Didn't like it. It didn't work. Wait. I bet you. Watch this. Easy title. Easy legend title. Come on. Easy add legend title. Distance. Oh, I ran all. Yes. There's the easy. Good seeing you here, Alan. But there's the easy thing for us right there. And if someone doesn't know frequency, we could change that to count. So y equals count of individuals. People might know what frequency is. So that's count of individuals. Now we're going to do one last thing right here, which I really would love, is if this was put in order from closest to furthest. So that means instead of making a factor, we have to actually make an ordinal. So we have to go back to where we turned it into a factor right here. So we're going back in time. Yep, that's all that code does. I love it because it's called easy add legend title. So we're actually overwriting it by adding it. So the easy, and these are found inside of the GG Easy library. Make sure to install.packages GG Easy. Install.packages GG Easy if you don't have it, because you have to install it before you load the library. And that's where your easy this or that functions will be at inside of GG Easy. So it gives you access to all those things. You can just instantly change stuff. GG Easy makes life so easy. Absolutely love it. And Courtney, thank you for asking all these. I love doing this kind of stuff. You can't tell. Like, let's make really nice looking graphics that people can understand. That's the point of data analytics. Like, that's what we do. So we have to fix this code up here where we turned it into a factor, where we say ordered equals, I see, I don't turn things into factor so often. Factor. Okay, so we need to look at it because I don't make things factors so often. Ordered, yes. I thought it was ordered equals true. Is that not? Okay, that's doing it. And then you have to give it the order down here. There's ordered equals true. We might have already done it right here. Read. This is gonna be a little crazy. Okay, under 10-minute drive. I'm putting it in the order right now as we speak. Like I'm writing these. Oops, I lost a parentheses. Yeah, that's why probably not a lot of people. Well, this is the kind of stuff I wish we could do every day in 201. Is like I wish we could just sit here and work on making graphics and people could try new things. But like, I realize not everyone's going to understand this, and I'm glad that your other classes have taught you this. What other class was it? Shout out to that other class. So a big shout out to your class. Yeah, and you can make it all in Jump if you want, especially, I don't want this to consume your life, but I will post all this code for you right here. So, or I could probably just email you this file if you want to make adjustments, and then you just want to make the graphics look really good. You can make the histogram. The histogram is actually the easy one. Watch this. GG histogram. And the GG histogram, we can look at their formatting. Like this is why GG PubR makes life easy. And I'll finish my pie chart. GG histogram, we literally can just go down here to grab an example. We're not going to add in the colors for these. We're just going to do the following. And we're not even going to worry about the palette of colors. We're just going to do this. Okay. So we go here to survey 11 or our DA2 data. And we go here to something like age, which is written really weirdly, Q2 ... age. And from there, we have a histogram. That does look pretty crazy. And then we can make it look nicer with everything. But there's the histogram. And you could go to the color equals blue. Got to do it lowercase, and then it'll change colors for you. There's the color. You could go to the fill. I didn't do a comma. But it's all about customization, making things look nice. Fill equals quote, and then green. And there's the fill right there. It's a discrete data, so it looks like this. You can add your title, GG title, and my histogram. You can center the title with easy center title. And there we go. There's a basic histogram for us presented. It was in Bio 269, which is ecology lab. And we would go into the field, take data, and then when we'd analyze it in R. Yeah, I wonder if I should maybe talk to those classes and talk to them about the GG stuff. I did my final project in R on plant diversity in Smoky Mountain, so I had all the code in my data sets and make visuals and everything goes, yeah. And that's what, you know, all these GG things make it so easy to make really good visualizations and just customize. Because watch this. We can actually add in another variable right here. If we go to fill and we throw in the fill as gender. So I go here and go to fill as ... gender. It's actually going to now fill it by gender. Oh, no, it's mad. Oh, there we go. So now these are stacked histograms right here. Yep. It's pretty neat. And then you can just change the variables right here to like high school GPA. Just go here and go Q6 ... high school .gpa. And then you can look at the high school GPA. It's mad about the bins, but there we go. I don't love this graphic right now, so let me go to the color. We'll go to fill blue, and then we'll do color by agenda right here. So let's see what it looks like there. Making graphics is an art. Like I'm not loving this graphic right now, but all the customization you can do. We've got the mean added in for females and male, so you can see the differences, and you might remove the rug, which is the kind of density of the data below it if you don't want that. But you can see the means right here of your data to compare the two distributions. Yeah, it's GG Easy makes it so easy to change anything you want, and then you can make. This is so cool. Wait, you want this? This is crazy. Watch this. Now this can't be knitted to Word, but Plotly. If you go GG Plotly, not that. If you go GG Plotly and put your graphic inside of there, your graphic is now interactive. You now have an interactive graphic where you can add and remove the things in the graphic. So you can look at just the distribution of males, or you can look at just the distribution of females right here. Now, yeah, that is the or you can even zoom in on it, and you can hover over it, and it tells you the analytics of it. So you can be like, oh, what's going on right here? Okay, that is these bins right here. Yeah, this is the mind-blowing nature of it. Like, oh, let me just move my graphic around. You can also take a screenshot of it anytime you want, like save the image right here of just what you see. Oh, it's not, oh, darn it. So you could screenshot this. This can't be knitted into Word, but the coolest thing ever about this is that you can do interactive graphics like this. And that's all we did was save the object by right arrowing it into something, and then we say ggplotly of the ggplot. So that's really the mind-blowing nature. So if we go back to this pie chart we made right here, it's still stored. So here's our fun pie chart. Oh, it's stored as pie, and here is the pie we created. We can now let's store this as P2, and it's not right ordered yet. We can go to ggplotly. Some of them work nice with ggplotly, some of them don't. And you see this one did not. It was a very complex graphic, so I was worried it wouldn't work. So that one did not work, but now we can call P2 as a graphic, and it works. I'm going to see, though, if that thing we did earlier worked to change the order. Okay, so I'm going to go right here. I'm going to create the ordered variable. Then I'm going to run this. Then I'm going to run this again. Okay, then I'm going to make the table. I'm running my code in order to see if I didn't break it. Okay, it didn't change the order. Ah, that's a bummer. And then there's my final graph. Oh, wait, look. Campus under, so the pie chart did it. The pie chart did it. Campus under 10 drive. The pie chart is now in order. This is my top tier graphic. It's going to resize to the window. Truthfully, I might just take a screenshot of this, but if we compare what we've got right here to what we did inside of R earlier, truthfully, I think this beats out the R graphic. So there's the pie chart in R. Here's the pie chart. There's the pie chart in jump, I meant to say. And there's the pie chart in R. We'll put a little border on this. But I'm very proud of this. Oh, no, it went to the next screen. So if you compare these two right here, I think they're both really great. I truthfully like this one better. We can customize anything we want pretty quickly, but pie chart or distance from campus, and we customized all that. So having data analytics skills, I mean, this looks like something you could see in a professional, both of them look professional, but I could see this more in a journal article. I really love the coordinate around it. We could probably add the count. Yeah, exactly. It looks cleaner, looks awesome. And we could probably add because the only thing is missing, because we say add the count. If you made this graphic right here and the graders took off points, I'd be like, come on. Let's see. The only thing we're missing is the counts. Exactly, Courtney. That's what we're going for. So if you want to do like PhD in biology and stuff, and you have this skill set, think about what % of students have this skill set. You are setting yourself apart. And also, if you want, contact me. I can get you into the data camp. We get so much access for students. I give it to 321st, but then for students who want, so if you want to learn more, Data Camp is a great way to learn. They give us free access to students. But if I requested 1,500 seats for 201, they might be like, so wait, what? So I can't offer it to all 201. But if you're watching this new 201 right now, and we have more seats, it's a first come, first serve basis. 320 gets it first because they are a coding class. They need it. But if you are 201 and you want it, email me at bstevens to say, hey, Brian, about that Data Camp thing. Okay, so the only thing I don't like about this is it doesn't have the counts. How do we add the counts? Did they do it in their examples? So we're looking to see an example where they added count. Ooh, look at that. The percentages are in there. Okay. So they are showing us how to do the percentages right here where we have geom text. Okay, so it's geom text. We literally might just plus this onto here. We can just steal their code. Not steal, borrow. A lot of coding is copy pasting. I am not joking. Ask anyone who codes and say, do you copy paste a lot? And they'll say, yeah. Okay, so I'm spacing this out. Where's it going to be better? I'll just make this a little wider. Yeah, sure. Ooh, I don't like that. Okay. Is it going to work? Could not find function percent. Okay, so we don't have the percent function. Let me look at their thing where they use percent. Library scales. Okay, that's where it's coming from. If you don't have library scales, load in library scales. We'll put it right before we use the function. I do have library scales. There we go. Could not find value function. Wait, value not found. Oh, because we renamed our stuff. Ours is not called values. Ours is called frequency, I think. Ours is called frequency. Oh, and then this is the number of groups. They're hard coding the value. We'll hard code it too. Okay, that looks good. Value not found. Could not find object value not found. Oh my gosh. So not so pretty right now. We need to go down on the size. It's not on the values. This is not good. Hey, Millen, good to see you here. Maybe it's because I ordered them, but they're not in the right spots. That's not good. Oh, those are coming in. Shout out to our grader right there. He is working on that. Big shout outs to him right there. He's working on it. He hasn't finished them yet. Why would that not be in the right? Because it's... We're going to have to sacrifice ordering this. Because where it's putting the labels, it thinks the labels are... This is the fun... Like, this is why I would not suggest 201 do this, because a lot of work so far to make the perfect graphic. The perfect graphic is what we're going for. So the positions of these are located on the original positions of our graphic from long ago. So the original pie chart we made where it was out of order. Here, we'll store this as a picture for a moment. No, that's our right ordered one. I'm going to go to the out of order one. And I'm going to store it as a picture so I can remember. I'm going back in time right here. Oh, does plots not store that far back? That may... What's going on? Okay, I broke it. Okay. Invalid plot index. Sure. Thank you. I already figured that out. Oh, shout out Saxon. Let's go. Okay, so the text is located where the original locations are. So that's why it's all out of order and all kind of messed up because it was over there. So the aesthetic is the y equals 1/5 plus that. The label equals this. Size equals this. Okay. That's the label. So that's just the name. That's fine. The y is the position. Okay. Okay, so this right here, this is where it gets complicated. It's been easy till up and now. Vector of 5, 4, wait, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. Okay, got it. Ay. What was the original ordering? 1. Let me just run the graphic and not save it. Okay, so 2. I'm trying to... This is not meant to be done in the future like this. No. Oh my gosh, this is not gonna... Wait, we want the 2 over here too. Okay, that might be right. No, but that's the wrong number. Okay, wait. The first number being reported here is the 4. So that's 4, 3, 1, 2, 5. But that's not even in the right spot still. Oh man. We might have to sacrifice putting it in order to get the new, because it might have, the way it adds up might be different, so the orders might not even work. Because it's just going to move these numbers around from these spots. Yeah, no worries, Courtney. I'm always about that perfect graphic. So don't worry, I'll post this right here. This is Brian. We're over office hours anyways, but this is where I'm just like, I want these to be perfect. So I think we're literally going to go here and manually edit the positions. So the positions are a vector of length 5, and let's just try this right here. Let's go to, if we do it as a percent of distance around the circle, that's going to be like 12% around. And if we do this one right here, that's like 33% around. It might take this, and that's going to be 75% around. And that's going to be 88% around. Yeah, Millen, ask away. I'm going to end here soon, but ask away. It doesn't like it. Oh, because that. Oh, the aesthetic closed. We don't want that. Oh, no. Look at that. Here, let's go to a crazy value. Let's have them 200 here. Oh, okay. Look at this. That moved it to there. Oh, it's how much we've gone through. Okay, that's how it works. Let's say I'm not about class. Yeah, ask away. So the first, okay, that makes sense how this works. The first label is going to be here at 100. The next label is going to be here at 300. The next label is going to be over that 600. That's the easy one. The next label is going to be over here at 720. And the next label is going to be over here at 780. How are we looking? Oh, look at that. There we go. I like it. Move this one over just a smidge right there on that one. Let's go to 70. There you go, 727. There you go, a little smidge right there. But that's looking pretty good. I mean, and then we can resize this and screenshot it, but I think we've got about as good as we can get. Man, that is the graphic. So this is our graphic right here, and this is kind of what's capable inside of R right here. Oh, but look at the percentages. Oh, the percentages are wrong. Always look at your numbers. No. So frequency divided by 100. Oh, sample size is 800. Oh, but we're using our random sample. We don't have 800 individuals. Did I do the full? I did the full data set. Okay, sure. Divided by 806. There we go. I think we have it. Okay. This is the full, not a random sample. And we could round, I'm going to round those to 1 decimal. So percent frequency round to 1 decimal. Oh, what did I break? Okay, this one. Comma 2. Round. Non-numeric. Oh, it doesn't like that? Oh, maybe the label has... Oh, did I break something else? No, that's good. And percent... It probably has a round inside of here. No, percent. What is... This has to have some sort of... Scale, trim. It's got to be trim. What have I done? Oh, it's the 806. What? 806. Okay, that's got that. But oh, I think we go here, go to round. Round this to 1 decimal. Round it to 4. Really? No, I want everything to be perfect. Perfect never happens, right? Perfect is impossible. Okay. Oh, so the trim would go here. Nope. Decimal mark. Number of decimal points. Decimal mark. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, decimal. Decimal mark is 1. Really? That's not how you use it? And Millen, feel free to ask your question, or you can ask on Discord. The character to be used, decimal mark. Oh, just no. Accuracy. A number rounding. So, my gosh. Why doesn't it just say accuracy? Okay, accuracy equals. There we go. There we go. That's what we want. Using new functions. That. Oh, the percentages are wrong, though. Okay. We're so close. So close. So we want to put them, the 24% is there. Table. Can't cancel your RStudio? No, what's happening? This was the longest graphic I've ever made. Nah, I've done bigger ones than this. Divided by n row. D2. What? There we go. Okay, so the first one is the fort, and the fort has 24. So the first one is the fort, and that is the last one. So we want to report first, number 5, and the next one is 30 plus drive, and 30 plus drive is going to be the fort's earlier. What have I done? The fort should be here in the ordered vector. It shows a black screen. Oh no, let's meet on Discord after this. I'll check it out. I just want to make this perfect graphic, then I'm going to be done. The one should never go this crazy on doing things. Levels. There we go. And then factor. Okay. I just want the perfect graphic. Why is it not releveling it? Oh, because I got to remake the table. I got to remake the graphics by which the tables are created from. Okay, there's the fort. Okay, so we're almost there. We're almost there. 30 plus minute drive is 30 plus minute drive is the 24%, which is the number 5. So control vector, coordinate vector 5. Then the 10 through 30 minute drive is the 32%, 0.8, which is number 4. So it just reversed ordered on me. And then the under 10 minute drive is that. So that's 3. Is it really just reverse order? No, it's not. The last 2 are mixed up. It was very close to reverse order. I think we've done it. No, wait, is that 32.8 right there? The 30 plus minute drive? 30 plus minute drive is 24. So those should be 4, 5. Wait, what? Oh my gosh. Okay, so these, it's like a game. Those are right. And then under 10-minute drive is correct. And these last 2 need to be reversed ordered. Well, then that's where we had it. 30 plus minute drive. Wait, so it was right? Oh. Well, I got it. It's ending here in a second, but I'll swing by Discord. I think that's got it. All this work for this graphic. So, i.e., maybe don't do inside of R yet, or because I love amazing graphics, and this is the kind of thing that I definitely want analytics students to be able to put in reports. And like high value graphics. But this was like, if I'm going to put something into a scientific paper, this would be much better. Hopefully the text is big enough right there. How do I get points? I click the point button. There you go. So we're just kind of showing the upper end of what is possible. And there you go. Like if this is something you're trying to publish in a paper, you might not even put the box around it, but this is something that would be in like a journal versus we did this in Jump very quickly. And that's what makes Jump very easy to use is you've got, you know, the nicety of Jump is just point click, where inside of R, you have all the customization. And Jump has customization too. It uses SAS code. So if you really want to go in depth, you could use SAS code, but this is the base Jump, which gets you pretty far along. But this is the more complex R with more options and going advanced. And we had to write all the code right here to do it. And so it took quite a while and took a lot of my brain power to do it. So that was the code. And the last part of ordering those numbers was more annoying because we had to make an ordered vector right there to get everything in order. But really good looking pie chart, explains the data well, it's got the numbers on it. And that's a good visualization. Well, I'm going to head off right here, and Millen will go meet on Discord real quick. Be there soon.